Welcome to my bedroom! And have I got a doozy? Rewind to August 9th, 2014. I become an 18-year-old adult male. Please. No, thank you. No, really. It means... Yes. I know. All the legal jokes. Rewind to the day before I turned 18, I bought this. It says Twinkle. It's been fun stepping on that in the morning. So now I'm 18 years old, I've got a beard, I'm a senior in high school, I'm the co-president of our class, I've got all these things going for me. And yet I realized there was still much for me to learn and to experience. I still have a perfect record of 18 years without ever having a girlfriend or being kissed, but I don't see that changing immediately. However, I had been practicing driving a vehicle. Now, when I first got my permit and started practice driving, I was really nervous, especially for my occasional gawkiness. I honestly thought it would be a bit of a disaster, but I only got like 500 points in pedestrian polo. So, no, I never hit anyone too important. But I still had to face the dreaded moment. The driver's test. Oh, 5 days after I turn 18, we go to the DMV. Now that I think about it, it's that way. We had a scheduled appointment on a calendar for 1 p.m. that day. So we arrived at 12:30, trying to catch the worm. Finally, at about 1:20 or 1:30, a lady with an unnecessary amount of buttons on her lanyard called us to the desk. In DMV time, that was like making a hot pocket. That was pretty good. So we're getting everything set up, including fixing my name, which they spelt wrong on the permit. They mixed up the I and E in Klein, which is like, if you're gonna spell my name wrong, misspell my first name, which has like 20 different spellings in the English language alone. I'm getting a little heated here. This is odd. So finally, we've gotten through the hoop upon hoop of paperwork, and she tells me what to do. Alright, hun. You're gonna take this clipboard, read the instructions, put it on the dashboard of your car when you're ready, and wait for the instructor to drop by. May God have mercy on your soul. So the instructions were pretty simple, and I'm sitting in my car with the windows rolled down and no air conditioning because they don't really want you to start the car until the instructor tells you to do so. Keep in mind, this is happening in August in Southern California. So I'm sitting there in a pool of my own rainforest. Finally, instructor shows up. Whew. He was a great, nice guy, short-sighted, looked like he had an affection for cupcakes, and his hair had started to say farewell. For an age guesstimation, mid-30s, maybe younger. The first thing he tells me to do is to start the car and put the air conditioning on, and I'm like, this guy is cool. Or at least he will be. Boo. Then, I make my first mistake. He asks me to point at the defroster, and I point to the one for the back window, which apparently doesn't fit the requirements of defroster. I didn't get a mark for that, but it was just a bad taste in my mouth. Sort of like a dry gummy bear in a sundae that has a banana with a lot of those black spots. And low-fat ice cream. Anyway, first step in our journey, pulling out of the spot, nailed it. We get onto the street, hit our first light, things are going well, hit the next light, ba-da-da-da-da, ooh, ooh, ooh. Not a worry in the world, okay? Then, cones. Cones everywhere. I had known that a part of the area was going to be under construction during my test, but I didn't know they would just skim us into the thick of it. While that went smoothly, it was still nerve-wracking. It was as if you were playing a racing video game with, like, a minivan that needs an oil change. There's just no confidence in that whatsoever. So after all is said and done, we get back to the parking lot, I grab a spot, fit it in there just like a glove, and we park, and he's like, okay, let me just write down a few notes. So he's writing in the comments section on my test, the test that I was taking at that time. You see, the thing that this guy had was a poker face. I didn't know what was going on. So finally, he finishes writing and he looks at me. And he takes a deep breath. Not because he was stressed, but I think it was his physical health getting to him. And he says to me, quite nonchalantly, "Well, Derek, you passed your test." Ugh. Sweet relief. So after that, I walk back to the DMV and I tell my parents, "Hey, I passed and we gotta go in and turn this in so I can get my interim driver's license and then get the other one mailed to me in about 10 business days." So we walk back in there, past the long line to the window we need to be at. Mind you, everyone is staring at our dog, Pablo, who's in a baby stroller. He made some people happy though, and that's what matters. So the guy prints the stuff out, he gives it to us, and then he's just like, "You're good to go." And in my mind, I'm just sort of thinking, well, great, let's make like a tree and leaf, come on. But my mom is standing there thinking, we haven't paid yet. And the guy just looks at us and says, "I swear, they all had glasses. It's alright, just make a donation to Governor Brown when you get the chance." I kid you not, this is what the man in the DMV, the Department of Motor Vehicles, says to our ears. My parents and I were very concerned about walking out of the DMV and not paying anything. But at the same time, I could hear the family account weeping tears of joy. And what were we supposed to do? Tell the employee to make us pay? I don't know about you, but where I come from, that's called entrapment. So we walked out of there without paying a cent. Might have left some tire tracks on the way. Now, I'm no expert on the matter. We were told to bring money to the DMV, but since they're mailing the license to me, I'm kind of assuming we're gonna get a bill in the mail anyway. And my family and I are more than willing to pay whatever we owe. But all I know is this. When your chickens tell you to count your eggs, you make lemonade. Wow, that's the first vlog I've done in a while. I think that went pretty well. Maybe it's because I'm growing up. Maturing.
I've got a migraine, and my pain will range from up, down, and sideways. Thank God it's Friday, 'cause Fridays will always be better than Sundays, 'cause Sundays are my suicide days.